Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So I posted on my Facebook a couple days ago that I wanted to ask some questions. Well, I wanted to answer some questions that people had about mental illness and things you could do. Disclaimer, I'm not a doctor, nor do I ever claim to be, or anything like that. Do I feel like that I have the right to try to diagnose people or anything? I'm here to help as one patient to another, um, answering different questions, like just things that you can do to help yourself throughout the day, and so on and so forth. And I wanted to post this video a couple days ago, but unfortunately, as some of you may know, that I had oral surgery last week, and I did have some complications with it. So, now that I'm feeling better, here we go with that. So let's get into the questions. My first question is from Sean, who asked, "How do you help someone with borderline personality disorder?" Now, this one actually comes pretty close to me because my best friend has borderline personality disorder. So I know what it's like, and I have bipolar. I'm bipolar 1 with episodes of mania and also, other things that on top of it. But, there's the biggest thing that I know is to be there for somebody, when sometimes to just let them vent, you know. You don't have to really say anything else except for, like, damn, that sucks. Just let them get things off their chest. Also realize that there's going to be days and months and weeks and everything that, you know, they're going to feel like they're on the verge of snapping. And, like, I totally know what she goes through when she goes through hers. And it's really hard. Like, you try to be there the best you can for somebody. And, that's really it. And you have to learn that it's like, if they do snap at you and everything, that it's not you. It's not your fault necessarily. I mean, it could be, but um, the best thing to be is just to be there for somebody, to listen to them, let them vent, let them complain, let them get things off their chest, but that's pretty much it. That's, at least that's what I deal with. Especially like with me, like if somebody says, like, like, well, what is it like to deal with you? Like, sometimes just let me vent, and I don't want a response all the time. Sometimes I really just want like a damn, that sucks, or like, yo, I feel you type of thing. Next question comes from somebody named Mike, and he says, "This may be a dumb question, but I suffer from anxiety and depression. I turn to food for comfort. What can I do to not make food my safety blanket?" So this one, I used to turn to food for comfort a lot too. And sometimes I still catching myself do it. And I know a lot of people that do it. I found that you can't just break a habit. You have to replace one habit with another and try to make it a better habit. So, for me, if I go to try to reach for something, I realize a lot of times I'm actually thirsty and not hungry. So I tend to drink a lot more liquids. I try to keep myself busy throughout the day too. So instead of just sitting on the couch and watching TV and looking for, something to fill the void, start drawing. I get up and walk the dog, play a video game. It's just breaking one habit with a better habit. And, you know, that, I mean, I've learned that from quitting smoking years and years and years ago and stuff, that you never really, like, stop having habits. You just get better ones. Another one is from my friend Dan, and he says, "What is the most common misconception you regularly have to debunk for others regarding mental health struggles you regularly deal with?" So, the biggest thing is that, you know, I must be incapable of doing anything. And that's a hard one because I try. I try a lot. And, like, yeah, like, right now, like, I might not have a full time job, but I do a lot during the day and I go to school. And, or the fact that I'm physically incapable of dealing with things, or that I'm crazy. And I know, we're all a little crazy and everything, but, um, that's the hardest one. Or another one is that you're just making it up for attention. I wish that I was making it up for attention. And I know everybody else that struggles, that has this said to them too, they feel the same way. Because you're battling with these inner demons in your head, and it's like a constant fight and back and forth and everything. And sometimes you don't know which way is up and which way is down and what to do. And, I really do wish that some days I was just making this up so I didn't have to deal with it. But you learn to get through it, just like anything else, and you learn that there are people here for you, like I tried to be. People that answer questions and help, and that's all. It's like, we're a community too, and we need to be there for each other. So another one is from somebody named Jules. And how do I convince my friend with bipolar to get help? So this is a hard one, and I don't think it's really like that you're gonna do so good at convincing somebody they need to get help, because at some point they're just gonna really think that you're pushing them, you think that they're crazy and stuff. But a lot of people look at getting help as a sign of weakness, and that's the biggest thing, is that you have to try to help somebody realize that this isn't a sign of weakness, that we're all trying to be there for you. And whether it is that you need to get them to get help, or the first step is being there for them, letting them vent, letting them talk, and when they're going through something, don't dismiss them. I had a hard time with that too, is that people are just like, oh, you'll get over it, or you just got to tell yourself to knock it the fuck off. That was a big thing. Don't tell me to get over it, don't tell me to calm down, because it just makes it worse. I had to learn for myself that I needed to get help. I wouldn't hear it from anybody else. It was something that I had to be ready for and I had to deal with, and it was when I hit a super low, and I didn't know where else to turn. So that's when I convinced myself that I needed to get help. Otherwise, I would just suggest just to be there for somebody, to make sure that they're okay, and maybe bring up the subjects here and there, or say that you would take them to a place, or you'd be there for them to go. It's always nice to hear that if you want somebody to get help, that there's going to be somebody there with them, because it's scary to go alone, especially at first, because like you just feel like you're completely crazy and you don't know what to do. So I would just say, slowly talk to them, make sure that they know that you're there for them, and then even offer to go bring them someplace or help them look for someplace that they feel comfortable going. And then the last one is from my friend Tim. And what are some things that can trigger an episode? Oh God. Uh, I have a lot of things that can trigger episodes for me. If I don't let myself do anything during the day and I get into a funk of just like sitting on the couch watching TV, you could pretty much look at me wrong and I'll snap on you. So I have to keep busy. I have to make sure I'm constantly doing things, or else I do get into that rut. If I have to ask somebody the same thing over and over again, that's a huge thing. That drives me insane. I'm also kind of OCD, so if things aren't cleaned up or picked up or something, then that tends to. I do get triggered a lot by watching certain shows and everything when somebody's going through something similar that I went through. I try to hide it. a lot to not let anybody else see. But, you know, there's a lot of times where I get up and go to the bathroom and I'll break down crying for a little bit. Hi, what are you doing? You want to ask a question too? Come here. Come here. Um, but yeah, I mean, it's not necessarily one specific thing that'll trigger me, but it's just in the mindset of the day of what could trigger me and what couldn't. And sometimes it's very simple. It's, you know, something that's around. Even if I like all of a sudden smell like a certain smell, like I'll just go into like a certain state or something. Lately, it's been a lot of problems with this oral surgery that I had, so it continuously brings me down. But yeah, but I would like to thank everybody for asking questions and being there. If you have any other questions, please do not be afraid to ask. I'm always here and would love to converse. Just remember that, you know, sometimes the best thing to help somebody is just to be there and listen to them and let them vent. You know, don't tell them that they're crazy. Don't tell them to calm down. That's the worst thing. You're just going to end up making them go into a huge tangent. And if they do go into something, you know, it's not necessarily your fault. And just make sure you remember that sometimes we do take things out on others. And it isn't our fault, but that's everybody does it. Everybody. And there nobody that I know that can say otherwise. But I don't know, but that's all for today. Thank you so much. As always, like, subscribe, share, do all of that. I'm not here for money. I'm just here to help. And so I would really love my channel to get out there more, just so I can help and be there for other people, and I can reach out to other people in the community, and, you know, we can form this bond of all helping each other. So thank you so much, and I'll see you as soon as I can, hopefully next week. Thanks.